Okay, answers to the fifth sheet for the homework. We've got a question here about two shapes. They're telling us that they are mathematically similar, and so they're giving us a clue that similar shapes are ones where the corresponding angles are equal. So basically that means that angle equals that angle equals that angle, and that angle equals that angle. If they hadn't told us they were mathematically similar, then we should recognize these as similar shapes because of the wording of the question. You know, they're telling us that angle A equals angle P, they're telling us that angle B equals angle Q, and because of the 180 principle in triangles, if those two are identical, then those two have to be identical because you take those away from 180 to leave you with those. So in a way, even if I had to use the words mathematically similar, we should recognize that these are similar shapes because of the way the question's been worded. Now, once we see that the question is about similar shapes, then we should be thinking that there's a scale factor because similar shapes are just an enlargement of each other. So there's a scale factor to work out. And to work out a scale factor, we look for two corresponding lengths. So here we can see that that length is corresponding to that length. And scale factors always, to me, work out numbers bigger than 1. Don't work with fractions if you can help it. So we've got 12 over 8. So our scale factor is 12 divided by 8, which is 6 divided by 4, which is 3 divided by 2, because obviously we're halving each time, and 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So our scale factor is 1.5. So let's have a look then. So that means then to get from this shape to this shape, we've had to multiply by 1.5, which also means if I go the other way around, I have to share by 1.5. So let's have a look what we've got to do. We've got to work out the length of PR. Well, when we look at the shapes, we can see that PR is on this side, so the corresponding length was that side. So they're telling us to do the original length, 26 times 1.5. Well, hopefully you guys remember that this is meaning you do 26 times 1, and then you do a half of 26. So the answer is going to be 39. So that's going to be 39 centimeters. It's then asking us to go the other way around because it wants the length of BC. Well, BC, we're having to go from this length here to this length here. So we're having to do 45 divided by 1.5. Dividing by decimals is not always easy. So if I multiply both of these by 10, then I end up with 450 divided by 15. Well, this is a bit easier to do now because we've got 45 divided by 15, which is 3. We've got a 0 left, so the answer is going to be 30 centimeters. So similar shapes, look for a scale factor. Corresponding sides will help you find that scale factor, and then you use that scale factor to work out the new lengths. Simultaneous equations. Well, we should remember here that the numbers in front of the letters are called coefficients, and the idea here is that we need to eliminate one of these letters. So we need the coefficients in front of one of these letters to become the same number. So I can see here that if I doubled this first equation, I would have a 6 there, and if I trebled the second equation, I'd have a 6 there. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to double the first one, so that gives me 4x take away 6y equals 22. Got to remember you're timesing everything by 2, and here we're going to multiply this by 3 to make that 6y. So that's going to give me 15x's plus 6y's, and 3 lots of 18 is 54. So now we look at what we've got. So step 2 is we either add or subtract these equations. Well, when we've got two different signs in front of the coefficient, then we always add the equations to cancel. So 4x's plus 15x's makes 19x's, minus 6y's plus 6y's, cancel this, nothing. 22 plus 54 is 76. So we now know that 19x's is worth 76. So to find x, well, you can do the division. So we go through our 19 times table, 19, 38, 57, 76, so that's going to be 4. 4 tens is 40, 4 nines are 36, 40 plus 36 is 76, so the answer is 4 for x. Once we know an answer for x, we then choose one of these equations to put the value in to find the missing number. So I'm just going to choose the top one. So we're substituting in the x as 4, so we've got 2 times 4, take away 3 lots of y, gives us an answer of 11. So we've got 8 minus 3y's equals 11. Take away the 8 from both sides, so we end up with negative 3y equals 3. Divide by negative 3 tells me that y is negative 1. Now we think those are the two answers, so we must then check in the other equation. So I didn't use the bottom one, so our check is to do 5 lots of the x value, so 5 times negative, times 4, and we're adding 2 lots of the negative 1 that we think y is, so 5 times 4 is 20, 2 lots of negative 1 is negative 2, plus and a minus makes a minus, so 20 take away 2 is 18, so our check worked. So x is equal to 4, y is equal to negative 1. Okay, second example here. This time I'm going to make the fronts the same rather than the y's to show you that it works either way. So I'm going to make these have a common coefficient, so both of these go into 12, so I'm going to double the first one and I'm going to treble the second one. So if I double the first one, I get 12 x's take away 4 y's equals 66, and if I treble the second one, I get 12 x's, 3 times 4 is 12, it's a plus here, so 3 lots of 3y is 9y, and 3 lots of 9 is 27. Again, I look at this, both of these are the same coefficient, so both positive, so I can now do the second step. It's both the same type of coefficients, they're both positive, so I do a takeaway this time. So 12 take away 12 is nothing, but here I've got to be really careful. Look, I've got a minus 4y, so we're doing minus 4y minus plus 9y. Well, we've got to remember, two signs next to each other, they're not agreeing, is negative. So this becomes negative 4y minus 9y, which is negative 13y. So that's why we just got to be really careful. We get negative 13y here, and then 66 take away 27 is 39. Do a back check to make sure that worked. 30 plus 20 is 50, 9 plus 7 is 16, 66, yeah. So we know that negative 13y is 39. I want a single y, so I divide by negative 13, so 39 divided by negative 13 is negative 3. So we think the answer for y is negative 3. So we choose one of these and substitute in, so I'd go for the top one. 6x's minus 2 lots, again substitute in with that, equals 33. 6x, a minus times a minus is a plus, so 6x is plus 6 makes 33. So 6x is take away 6 from both sides is worth 27. X 27 divided by 6, so 27 divided by 6, both of these divide by 3, so 9 divided by 2, which is 4.5, so 4.5. So we think these are our two values, so we check in the other equation. So this is telling me to do 4 lots of x, which is 4 lots of 4.5, plus 3 lots of negative 3. 4 lots of 4.5 is 4 4s are 16, a half of 4 is that, so a half of 4 is 2, so that's 18. 3 lots of negative 3 is negative 9. 18 take away 9 is 9. It worked. We're happy, so happy days. Okay, so that's the answers to this.